Cat made those machines from 1968 to I think mid 80s. So I'm not exactly sure what year it is, but I'm going to say probably late 60s, early 70s. And I said there might be one more thing coming to the channel. And here's that one thing. All right, guys, welcome back to Grit and Grind officially. So that last clip you saw was from the last video. And this officially is an International Harvester TD6 Dozer. And you'll notice it says Bucyrus Erie on the side. So International made the tractor itself and the motor. Bucyrus Erie made the dozer blade and everything you see here for this tractor, which is kind of a pretty cool collaboration. So one thing I will say is this thing is ancient. They produced these from 1940 all the way up until 60 something. So I'm going to guess this is probably a late 40s, early 50s machine, but I don't know for sure. Undercarriage, leaves a little bit to be desired. And one thing that is kind of nice is you can actually angle this blade. Very old technology, not necessarily practical in any way, shape, or form compared to new dozers, but this thing is pretty cool. And surprisingly, everything runs and functions on it. So that's kind of neat. I did run this the first time the other day, and it was pretty cool. I think eventually, because it's straight enough, might paint this. Wouldn't spend a lot of time putting it back together, but kind of a cool piece of history. And if anyone's familiar with Matt from Diesel Creek, he likes to find these old machines, mostly cats, but I do think he has a couple IHs, and they're just really neat. So I thought, we'll give it a shot. Traded a dump trailer that we weren't using for it. Guy just came and picked it up today. Figured this would make a nice little small yard machine, if nothing else. And like I said, I just think it's super neat. All right, so a few other things to note. Blade is actually in pretty decent condition. Like I said, it does push pretty good. Everything functions on it, and it's pretty awesome. It's just a neat piece of history. Not practical, not very large, but definitely interesting. It's nice having ROPS that was added on after. So again, International made the tractor itself, the motor, everything in there, and then Bucyrus Erie made all the dozer attachments. This does start on gas. There's actually a fuel shutoff right there, and then converts over to diesel. So there's about a half-gallon, maybe at most, gas tank here. And then once it warms up, you actually start the diesel motor, and then the pony shuts off. So one thing that I do want to show you here is just operation, because for those of you that aren't familiar with these machines, there's a lot of levers here. So I'm going to finish crawling through here. Not bang my head, hopefully. Operator station. So I'll get a full video on starting this, but I just want to kind of show you simplistically. So all you have is an up and down on these rams, and then if you wanted to, angle your blade left or right, you pull the pins. There's a pin right there, and you, along this track, just move the blade in or out, and that angles it. You don't have a tilt like you do on a modern dozer, but that's okay. So this is a 4-way blade. Manual 4-way, really old school. So you have your lift. So all the way forward is float. This machine actually does have really good down pressure. I was surprised. We'll lift the front of this machine up, and then back all the way is, pull all the way up. This is your throttle. This is your disengage for the diesel motor. So you'd actually pull this back. I'm not going to pull it back all the way because it's hard to do one-handed while holding a camera because this is stiff. But that's your disconnect. Like I said, I'll get you a video of it warmed up. So then steering, left, right, you have to pull this lever back, and that's just a gradual steer. And then to turn hard, you push the pedal down. You do not want to push these pedals down without the lever pulled back. Your clutch is a hand clutch, so all the way forward is disengaged, and there's actually back to here it'll start engaging, and you kind of hear it, or I'm sorry, you kind of feel it hit like a detent, and then in, and you're going. So then when you're done pushing, just push that forward. This machine has reverse and actually 5 gears. So it's reverse, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. They all work. I'm not entirely sure what you would use third, fourth, and fifth for, other than, I guess, if you wanted to get around here really quickly, you could do that. But pushing, you're going to be pretty much using first or second gear. Reverse only having 1 gear, it actually is pretty quick, so that's kind of cool. And like I said, this is your throttle. So all the way back is off, forward, full throttle. So yeah, you'll notice that this hose is got some cracking, but it is a little newer. This hose is basically brand new. This one is definitely going to get replaced because that is very dry rotted. And if you look, all of a sudden you were picking up your blade and then this blew, and it's going to come hit you in the arm and also probably right into your face. And nobody wants that. I don't know what kind of pressure these are dealing with. Probably not as much as modern equipment, but it's still not going to feel good when this heats up and starts spraying at you, especially if it's just a pinhole. So yeah, that's going to get fixed really, really soon. If you want to see a video on that, let me know. If not, I'll just replace it off camera. So yeah, this is a brief overview of the International TD6 Dozer. So guys, that's going to wrap up this video. In the next one, I'm going to show you exactly the proper starting procedure, and we'll probably show you how to run this machine. So if you want to see something in particular, let me know. Leave it in a comment below. If you think this content is interesting, leave it in a comment below. If you think I'm nuts to buy this, leave it in the comment below. If you want to see something completely different, also leave it in a comment below. Other than that, I'm appreciative for everybody who watches and supports me. I like making content that you guys enjoy, so if you don't like this kind of stuff, let me know. If you do like this stuff, let me know. And if you want to see what we get up to next, besides a proper start video, because I saw a couple on here because I had to look it up myself, and they aren't very good in my opinion, so I want to do a proper one that really goes in depth and shows you this old piece of history. I love dozers. It's my favorite piece of equipment to run. I don't know if I've ever told you guys that before, but really something that I enjoy, so I'm glad to have this. It's really cool. It put a huge smile on my face to run this the other day for the first time. And like I said, it pushes actually really good, surprisingly good for how old it is. It's got a lot of life left in it. So I have all the filters and manuals, so that should help me with this. There's some other spare parts that I still have to pick up from the gentleman who got the trailer. So other than that, videos popping up on your screen now. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content.